Hey everybody, it's Numismatic Max Stacker. Yes, I'm here in my new van that I got. It's actually a used van because I didn't want to pay those high prices. Basically, this van costs about as much as it would have cost to fix my old truck, so I thought it was a good trade. Made my own badging. Check that out. We're gonna be putting some vinyls on this thing. It's gonna stimulate a lot of business. We got to advertise, okay? We're gonna do something different that I've never normally done, because usually I was doing a lot of new construction and I always had another job from builders and stuff like that. I never had to advertise. Now that the economy has shifted, now we're doing more remodels, and I want to gravitate and get more stuff on my own instead of getting it through a subcontracting company like that. So ultimately I'll do better, more money, more free time. That's what I want. So enough of that. Let's talk about gold and silver. Wow, holy cows. I actually was making a video earlier, about an hour ago, maybe a little bit long before that. Silver just keeps dropping. I had to delete everything that I said because silver dropped like another $1 since I was recording that video. Crazy, because I was thinking about, since silver was at 30.92 when I was recording that video, that when I was purchasing silver at that last show at $30 an ounce, that's a little bit more than $3 under melt at the time, that I would be able to sell it at 32 possibly, and make a little small profit of maybe $1 a piece. Now it's like, what do I do now? I basically might have to lock that stuff up, or I just keep my prices the way I wanted to sell them for, to not lose money, or I buy from customers if they come to me to buy silver in dollar cost average, because I can't be paying the same price that another dealer is going to pay me for. Obviously I'm a dealer, I should be able to get that price that they're offering as well. Numismatics, we're at gray sheet or below gray sheet. But point is, guys, silver at 29.80, 29.70, I don't know, it just keeps on dropping. It's on sale. Okay, guys, it's on sale. Look at the stock market. The stock market dropped 1,300 points just on Dow Jones alone. Is this going to start a panic? Is this going to start where people are going to start pulling their money out and buying gold? Possibly. I know some people will do that, but I also know some people that are wise enough that when it's down, they want to buy in. Is this going to be transitory? Hey guys, I don't know. I'm hoping, and I don't want to do any doomsday stuff. Okay, I want to stay positive as much as possible, and just basically squeeze a couple lemons and make some lemonade, whatever the old saying is. Just stay positive, have God in your life, and make the right decisions. Grocery store stuff, make the right decisions, okay? Don't be buying so much convenient foods. Don't be buying foods that have tariffs on them. Make deals with your butcher, stuff like that. I've done a live stream talking about that. You guys should check it out. It's actually pretty cool. It's about wellness and being. So I'm not going to be talking about that here on this video. We're focusing on gold and silver. What should we do? Obviously silver's been rising. It's been over 30, 32, 33. People have been buying it at that time. So anything in your recent buys, you're going to be underwater on. But, I've been buying silver for 10, 15 years. Okay. Well, let's see, about 12 years, silver has increased a lot. I was buying Mercury dimes at $1.10 a piece. We can sell them for $2.40. Now that's double, I'm fine with that. The notion in my head, should I sell, maybe enough constitutional silver to get another ounce of gold? But at the same time, I think I'm going to hold for a little bit. Why? Because, when gold rises, okay, gold always rises first. Throughout history, silver has risen after gold has already had its peak, and it starts coming back down. Then silver will rise. That's happened twice. History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. It's a very similar scenario. The housing market was different during the last recession. They were overextending their loans. Now it's like the prices of the homes they're just valued too high. Okay. And the interest rates are too high. It's a compounding factor. Okay. It's too high. Some people say that, the housing prices are going to go up, and other people on the other hand say it's going to go down 50%. Well, here's the problem. If the housing values drop 50%, we're going to be in a depression, because people are going to be underwater on their equity. Just to get out of their house, it's going to cost them a boatload of money to get out. Then they're trapped. They're stuck in that house. You see what I'm saying? The interest rates just need to fall. And I think, in my opinion, the housing market is going to kind of, flatline. The values are going to flatline. Maybe they'll drop a small percentage, but not a drastic amount. I'm just hoping. Okay, I'm not an expert. Maybe you guys don't need to listen to me about that, but I usually have a pretty good intuition, and I'm pretty thinking, the housing values are going to kind of be stale for a while. But we need to get these interest rates down. As a matter of fact, it's about 5.75% as an annual average on the mortgage rate right now. They want to see 3.5, 3.6. I don't think we're going to see those rates for a while, or even ever again. But honestly, it could be in the low fives, in a year or two, whatever, let's just shoot for that. New vehicles are really crazy expensive. So that's why I chose to use a middle of the road mileage vehicle that's in good shape. I know you should fix your vehicles, but the bill was insane, and I don't know how to work on transmissions. Okay, that was a decision I had to make. So for the rest of this video, let's talk about what I would be interested in buying at the next coming shows. Like I said earlier on my live stream, that I'm gonna have a ride along with Simon, and we're going to Iowa. So we're gonna have all new untapped resources from my eyes, which is going to excite me. Yes. First of all, I walk to the table, I take my jeweler's loop, and I look at all the 1878 8-tail feather Morgan dollars and 7-tail feather Morgan dollars. If I don't find anything that strikes my interest, that has a nice VAM or whatever like that, then I move on to other things, right? Because I want to score and make treasure. I want to find a treasure. Okay. Then, if I don't find that, I'm going to see who's got the cheapest silver. Maybe I'll buy a couple pieces of silver, like 5-ounce bars is kind of what I'm looking for. And then I want to get a couple 1 gram bars of gold. Reason being, they're small, they're liquid. Literally, it's under $100 now. But yesterday, the melt was $100.57. Now I think we're about $98, $97 again. So that's what I'm be looking for. Somebody's got to sell me those for around that price. I know I can, because I have in the past. But it seems like there's not much of a premium on those, and that's why I want to attack those. There's other places where the premiums are too high on 1 grams. But lately I've just been scoring and finding them for near melt, which I like. Just because I have a nice network of dealer friends that can do that. So obviously, when somebody's coming to the table and they want to sell something to them, like say silver was at 34, okay, and they're going to pay 31. And they're like, why so low? Well, it's because the premium is kind of dissolved. And so the same thing will happen with gold. They'll buy back from melt. So if we have a personal relationship, I can get some things for melt and some things just slightly over melt, which I think is a fantastic deal. You're paying cash. I'm not paying online. I'm not paying for shipping. I'm not paying taxes or anything. But honestly, if it's bullion, you shouldn't be taxed. But, if you have to buy it, you have to buy a certain amount online that they'll give you free shipping. But not a lot of people have tons of cash or want to put that much on their credit card when they have a lot of credit card debt anyways to get that discount. So people are just basically, buying a couple $100 at a time, $300-400. Then maybe they'll buy a 10th ounce gold coin at a time. They're not going in there buying 1 ounce gold coins right now, because they're kind of, it's great, it's gold, right? But it's not as liquid as like a smaller piece of gold, which this is why like all of these other countries are just stockpiling gold. When China has 27,000 metric tons of gold, and our country supposedly has 8,333 metric tons, but we're waiting for that audit from Fort Knox. What would happen literally if there was no gold in Fort Knox? Would our country start buying gold? Like, what's going to happen with the gold price? Think about this for a second. Remember when the Hunt brothers were cornering the silver market? Well, one of my friends from Canada was kind of putting this notion in my head that possibly Putin is cornering the gold market. What do you guys think about that? Do you see possibly in the next couple of years gold to be higher? Well, look at this chart right here. In the past year, gold has gone up about 40%, excluding today, of course. In the past several years, look at how far it has risen. Look at this chart. Crazy, right? That's a lot. As you can see, if you had money sitting in your safe, doing nothing, depreciating, if you had it in a gold, look at how much it has appreciated, okay? It's an asset. It's just like land. Land's an asset. Gold's an asset. Silver's an asset and a liability as well because it's so volatile. You got to time the market just right. In my opinion, most people say we're never going to see under $30 silver, and it just happened, okay? It's on sale. I'd be buying silver right now. That's my opinion. I'm not going to over leverage myself, and I don't want you to over leverage yourself. Just get a couple pieces. I think it's a great way to dollar cost average right now. What is the other thing I'm looking for? Maybe I might buy a tiny piece of platinum just because Tesla's been tanking, which means the sales aren't as strong as they used to be, which is good for catalytic converters and emissions and stuff like that, which the automotive industry might have a little bit more demand for platinum, which I've never purchased platinum ever in my life. I might buy a little tiny platinum bar or a tiny little 10th ounce platinum coin or something like that. I might be doing that. Not saying I will, but it's kind of a good idea. And maybe I'll buy a couple dinars, just a couple, just to add to the stack because of the what if, you know, because of the exchange rate might change. It might be revalued a little higher. I'm not saying possibly, like I said on that last video, I was thinking maybe it could be worth as much as what's printed on that bill as US tender. So say if you have a 25,000 dinar bill, maybe someday that could be worth 25,000 USD. I think what I said was incorrect, just to be honest with you, but I honestly think it's going to appreciate as an investment over time as the exchange rate changes. So that's about what I'm looking for. If I can see something that's in that habitable zone, like say a seated quarter XF in a PCGS holder and looks nice, and if I can get it for Ron Gracie, I'll probably buy that. So you guys let me know in the comments below, what should I do on my next show? Should I be trying to sell silver because I might lose some money on some recent purchases? But I've been buying silver periodically throughout the last 6-7 months anyway, so I'll probably just go back to the older stuff that I paid 26, 27, and maybe I'll move a couple pieces. I just won't have a nice wide variety of things as I do right now that I would have for sale, just because the price has plummeted so much. I still need the dollar cost average. I still need to make a profit on certain things. That's why I put a little code on my thing, so I know what I purchased on that, so I can make just a smidgen of a profit. Makes it worth my while to actually be at the table. The tables are around 60 bucks a table, so I got to cover that. You know, usually I've been doing pretty darn good during this time of the year when it comes to coin sales. And I'm gonna have a lot of fun. I'm gonna be driving to a different state into Iowa with Simon, and the next day I'll be in Wisconsin. So again, new stuff, new dealers. It's gonna be pretty fantastic. So I'll see you guys on the next video. Thank you.